All bow before the Honorable Judge Cackles. Thank you, gentlemen. I will start by stating I have denied the defense's motion to dismiss based on the new release of the mod. The new release of the mod does not absolve it of wrongdoing. With that, we may begin the trial of Glitchers v. Blue Sentinel, as our wonderful audience has been approved to be the jury. Oh my, the accused Blue Sentinel, quite the charges, has been running a crime spree with its users. The charges are premeditated murder of PvP in the first degree, murder of glitch users in the second degree, falsifying evidence of cheating, aiding and abetting cheaters, and last, felony assault on the EULA. Has the defense entered a plea?
Yes, not guilty, Your Honor.
Very well. We'll move to the prosecution and begin opening statements.
Lads and lasses of the jury, today we're going to tell a story. A story of a mod with a repeated history of hurting the community and hiding behind its good deeds. A mod that reformed itself into a monster and tries to justify its means. There is no question as to whether or not the Blue Sentinel allows you to kick glitchers and disrupt the PvP scene. We are here today to prove that the mod itself was created specifically to destroy the PvP scene by killing of those who have adapted new skills that others cannot be bothered to learn. This mod is done wrong by glitch users and the community as a whole. It is labeled glitching as the same as cheating, like that with Cheat Engine. Yet, this mod, by design, helps those with Cheat Engine and its gang. It does nothing to stop their gang. It is not there to protect you. It is only there to hurt a specific group of players who use what some deem unethical methods. This mod plays judge, jury, and executioner. It makes a mockery of the EULA, and users claim it to be an enforcement of TOS. You will see the only choice on this repeat offender over the years is guilty, and to remove it from the Nexus. The prosecution rests.
Well, now we'll move on to the defense and their opening statement.
The members of the jury today will hear a story of a hero. A heroic mod that wasn't always perfect, but through the years has persevered to try to protect us from all evolving cheats. One of a mod with good developers with good hearts. You should be grateful. We owe Blue Sentinel, formerly named Watchdog, for protecting us. You will know the full story, and when you do, you will know that Blue Sentinel isn't simply not guilty, but rather a hero. Many try to tear our heroes down, but not today. You will see the whole truth. All of the capabilities of Blue Sentinel, not just fighting glitchers. Thank you.
Ahem. It is at this time the prosecution may introduce witnesses and evidence.
Prosecution calls Dark Spirit Dave to the stand. How long have you known Blue Sentinel?
I've known him for a couple years.
Have Blue Sentinel or any of its users ever harmed you before?
Only recently did he harm me badly. He's made it impossible for me to obtain pale tongues for my family.
Oh my Aldrich. Please tell us, where did you invade?
I invade post-pontiff meta. The working conditions are brutal. I was taught glitching techniques. I invaded a host with 802 unscaleds, and I was fighting my hardest, but after our Estes cancelled, he and Blue Sentinel murdered the session, and I lost my hours. My PvP is ruined.
What explanation did Blue Sentinel give you for murdering you and your PvP?
Objection, Your Honor. He's still allowed to PvP. No one's saying that he can't do that. However, the kick that occurred during this time frame is a direct result of his own actions.
This is directly relevant to whether glitching is cheating and if it's cheating to retaliate.
Objection overruled. It's relevant, but please don't waste all day on this.
He said people like me took away his ability to enjoy PvP for 2 years, and he wasn't gonna let that happen anymore.
No further questions. We yield.
All right, if the defense wishes, they may cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dave, was it? How long have you been invading?
2.5 years, sir.
And when within that time frame, Dave, did you start cheating?
Objection. Glitching is not...
Fine. Next question. Do you believe that Estes Cancel is fair?
Anyone can learn to do it with practice, and I've practiced glitches in other games too.
I know it can be difficult given your attention span, but can we please stay focused on the current game? Thank you. Now then, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you see this?
Usually I expect them to be setting up bow glitch or refill.
Anyone can perform these glitches, correct?
Well, yes.
So then, like Estes Cancel, those glitches are also fair game under your reasoning. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think they're fair.
You don't want to play with people who fight unfairly, right?
No, I don't, so I block them.
And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Blue Sentinel does the same, while keeping your session intact. No further questions.
Is the prosecution ready with its next witness?
Do I look okay? Yes, we call Miyazaki to the stand. It's truly an honor to have you here today with us to discuss about what Blue Sentinel is doing to Dark Souls 3 and more specifically its PvPers that use glitches.
What?
Dark Souls 3? We're talking about a mod for it called Blue Sentinel.
Why would I know anything about that?
You created the game.
Dark Souls 3? Yes, I think I remember now. Seems like ages ago.
Yes, well, my colleagues across the aisle believe that glitching is a violation of the EULA. Is this true?
I believe so. It's been some time, but in the EULA there's some language about using exploits to gain an unfair advantage against other players.
Are you familiar with Estes Cancel, Estes Refill, or Bow Glitch?
I think we've had some emails about this, yes. We've chosen not to do anything.
Whose job is it to uphold the EULA?
Why, that would be ours, and Bandai Namco, although we may not be doing a great job of it.
You haven't delegated this power to anyone else? Even though you're busy with other things?
No, we haven't.
Blue Sentinels is who's on trial here today. They and its users claim to be upholding the EULA in your place by allowing themselves to kick people for using exploits that give them an unfair advantage. Some have even claimed that you gave them the green light to do so. What do you think of that?
I don't care. You're asking if that's a good thing? Maybe. Creating a third-party mod is definitely against the EULA.
No further questions. Thank you for coming.
All right, it looks like, the prosecution is resting, and the defense is...
Yes, we are ready. I want to say that we honor your hard work on the game, Miyazaki. Our hero, Blue Sentinel, has worked very hard to keep the game enjoyable, despite many cheaters and glitchers in the game. Tell the court, Miyazaki, if these glitches were known about when the game was still getting updates, would you have fixed them?
It's no secret that we don't update the game anymore, although support is still technically live. We could patch them if we really wanted to. We chose not to. However, years ago, we likely would have fixed these unbalanced glitches, as we did others.
If you could please look at Exhibit 3. What does it say?
It says Regulation 1.15, August 25th, 2017.
And that's the last update for Dark Souls 3?
Why, yes, I guess it is.
It's been a long time. You can imagine how many new cheats and exploits have come out since then. Isn't it good that someone would try to keep the game from being soiled by cheaters and glitchers?
Well, sure, seems good to me.
Well, that's exactly what Blue Sentinel and former Watchdog have done. They protect players and keep the game from rotting. There is no support from the game developers anymore. Blue Sentinel is the support. Don't get rid of it.
Are you about done here?
Yes. The defense rests.
Does the prosecution wish to call another witness?
Yes, we call Amir to the stand.
Oh, by Aldrich's distended gut. More celebrities? Are you serious?
Aldrich be praised. Please don't startle me like that. Amir, you are a man of many mods and tools. Tell us what your relationship with Blue Sentinel is like.
Well, I first discovered him by rumors spread by friends of mine, and then one of them got personally invited to test his conduct before he was open for public service. The friend kept me up to date with the Blue Sentinel's progress, and forwarded my recommendations to the developer. I discovered other friends and respectable people were also invited to add their opinions, input, and testing to the project. I later got directly contacted by the Blue Sentinel's developer, which allowed me to share my perspective directly on what Blue Sentinel's conduct should be, as well as the ability to recommend other features and work directly with the developer on testing.
I see. Are you aware of the actions Watchdog took that got users banned?
Objection? Speculation. First, we'd like to file a motion to dismiss Evidence Exhibit 2B.
It was never proven that any version of Watchdog causes.
It was well known, and the mod developer even laughed at it.
Enough! Objection sustained. Speculation of crimes not in the charges list is strictly not permitted. The motion to suppress the evidence is denied as it is relevant and has been verified by forensics.
Yes, Your Honor. So you have learned to use glitches in the past 2 years when playing in PvP?
Yeah, quite a bit. I explored them just like anything else that seemed fun to try after I first started the game. After I found myself meeting people in the Twitch PvP community, I learned the more useful ones and how to actually use them effectively. However, because of the perspective of the people around me and my growing experience in the game, I quickly learned that it was more fun to play without glitches unless I had a good reason. For example, if I invade a player that isn't using any glitches, I'll play normally. If I invade a host that Estus cancels or uses moveset swaps, I'll do them back, in a friendly way if they just seem to consider it another mechanic. Although in encounters with the more game-breaking ones, such as the unscaled phantom glitch, Estus refill, or the Millwood 47, I decided to completely avoid it as it simply wasn't fun to engage with players who would resort to them to win, or the ones who would just consider it as fair game as any other in-game mechanic.
Would you deem it fair if you were removed from an in-game session for using an exploit that is in the game? What if that person who removed you were using glitches themselves?
That's something I've pointed out to the developer. Blue Sentinel can be called up at any time and isn't instructed to check if he's kicking out someone for glitching when the person who called him up is abusing it themselves via their own teammates. Currently, it only disables for the current session if the user uses a glitch. Hopefully, the developer will take my advice and add up further ways for the glitch kicking to be disabled when you try in one way or another to abuse it.
Please tell the court what a script with a cursed knife does to a player.
A curse knife usually refers to a script cooked up by the infamous script dealer, CE. It modifies a thrown knife to apply a whole bunch of nasty insta-kill effects on contact with the enemy. It usually is used as a way to quickly and almost guaranteed kill and remove somebody for any reason. Some use it just to cheat because they were going to lose or didn't like what the other player did. And some use it to counter players who cheated first.
Please tell the court what kicking someone from a session does.
There's many hacks and cheats to kick any phantom at any time using various exploits often distributed by CE, but the kick Blue Sentinel does will rather instantly put you on the loading screen back to your world, or cut your connection giving you the "connection error has occurred, returning to your world" message.
Aha! Now, what is the difference between them when used on someone who is glitching? Blue Sentinel isn't truly like giving every glitch user a curse knife, is it not?
Well, when you think about it, yeah. But also no. Blue Sentinel has guidelines of when you can kick someone, and is able to know almost for sure if someone actually did glitch or cheat. A cursed knife is nothing you can trust most players with. They are bound to use it irresponsibly, as I explained. If Blue Sentinel cursed instead of kicked, it would just be a bit more cruel, shocking, and an indirect way of kicking. But to some players, it is the same as it removes you using external software all the same.
Very well. No further questions.
I assume the defense is ready to cross-examine.
Do you believe the game to be better or worse with Estus Cancel?
You can't really know for sure, but I'd assume worse as it makes something that is very punishable much harder to punish, forcing players to learn it or have a severe disadvantage when it wasn't even intended to be that way.
If we are able to stop people from using unfair glitches, then why shouldn't we?
I'd prefer if we simply tried to make a less toxic culture in the game, to simply encourage people not to abuse them and get better in other ways. Notice how glitch abusers usually don't machine gun bow unprovoked, because they know it's broken and unfair.
Where do you believe the community would currently stand if Watchdog had never been released in the first place?
I probably need to talk to a couple people that have been playing this game for longer and know the history better, but I don't think the game would be in such a much worse state. But I can say for sure it was probably net good in terms of stopping players from having their characters ruined or accounts banned. It was probably especially helpful for streamers or super active players.
Do you trust Blue Sentinels and its developers?
Blue Sentinel seems to do whatever he's instructed to, so I'd really only worry about trusting the developer. The developer, I can say, has great intentions whether you agree with his perspective or not, and is taking as much action as he can to ensure that Blue Sentinel doesn't go off doing bad because of some oversight on his capabilities or conduct. As I stated earlier, I know some of the testers and they are very great and considerate people.
Very well. I have nothing further to ask of you.
That is the last one on the prosecution's witness list. Now we may move towards the defense witnesses.
As our first witness, we call Kevin to the stand. Kevin, we are so glad that you're strong enough to be here with us today. Now, can you walk us through the horror that besieged you in your honest PvE playthrough in Farron Keep?
There I was, up to my knees in poisoned swamp water. I had just lit the third flame thingy to open the door to the Abyss Watchers. And that's when I saw it.
And what did you see, Kevin?
An invader. He was quick-stepping his way towards me. I ran back to the bonfire to defend myself, but he kept going for my back, over and over. Luckily, I managed to keep hitting him with my trusty Irithyll straight-sword.
Ah, so you managed to fight the invader off?
No, it was working until he ran away. I was ready to finish him off as he tried to heal, but then he instantly healed. I had no chance to stop him.
Now, where did the invader go?
I didn't even know this was a glitch. It looked like he was cheating. I couldn't punish his heals and he eventually got a backstab on me. And then he hit me with a Black Knight sword, but as fast as a dagger could swing. I slipped away around the corner and used my last heal, and then I couldn't find the invader.
And what was the invader doing?
I saw him nearby, and I couldn't believe with my eyes what was happening. He was using the Pyromancer's parting flame. I didn't understand what was happening at the time, but then he came back and suddenly had full Estus. I was doomed. It was completely unfair.
Ah, now imagine if you have Blue Sentinel there protecting you. You could enjoy your PvE uninterrupted by this mess. You still want to PvP some invaders sometimes, right?
No, not really.
Thank you for your time, Kevin. I have no further questions.
Now, Kevin, have you been here before?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to this boss room before?
No. No, I never have.
Your experience with DS3 is still somewhat new then.
That's fair to say.
How confident are you in parrying enemies? Even PvE? Are you aware that you can swap rings while falling, like a cat ring?
I don't know much about it, but sometimes I try.
You'd think that would take practice, wouldn't you? What if I told you a lot of the techniques used by glitchers required similar or more practice?
Yeah, I suppose that would take practice.
Kevin, you understand Dark Souls is a game about getting good and learning the mechanics. With practice, you are capable of learning the same techniques as that invader that traumatized you. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Swapping the cat ring seems cool to me, but I don't know how the other stuff works. It seems unfair.
Well, maybe you wouldn't call them cheats if you weren't such a smooth-brained noob. Stop finding excuses for your laziness.
What an asshole.
Fuck this. I'm going back to Drain Lake.
May the flames guide thee. I have nothing further.
We wish to call foolish Fletcher to the stand.
This one came in on the wrong side. Wonderful.
Bringing in the experts today, I see.
Fletcher, you have played Dark Souls 3 for years, correct?
Yeah, feels like a lifetime.
And how long would you say that cheaters have been there?
Feels like as long as I've been playing.
Correct. And what program do cheaters like to use, Fletcher?
Good old Timmy the Cheat Engine.
Cheaters have no reason to use Blue Sentinel, not really. If they wish to kick you, well, they already have tools to do so at their disposal. This ultimately changes nothing.
I suppose that makes sense. Why use something with restrictions when you can use something without restrictions?
Blue Sentinel does so much more than simply kicking glitchers. It allows you to see alternate accounts that are blocked, the player's ping and location, as well as...
Wait. It shows what now? It shows them my location?
Well, yes. But it's a peer-to-peer connection, and your privacy is just an illusion anyway, so what are you really losing?
Well, yeah, until someone uses a tool to actually dox it.
Well, you don't want to play with cheaters or those with an extremely poor connection, do you? Why would anyone want to dox you? You're not that fucking important.
Suppose not.
You would say that Blue Sentinel accomplishes that goal, correct?
Certainly.
That would be all. No further questions, Your Honor.
Nice to meet you. I've sent you a friend request on Steam. Anyway, you seem quite hesitant about kicking glitch users. Is that because it's unnecessary?
Yeah, I don't think it's the right solution.
Putty in our hands. Right.
How have you handled cheaters or folks you otherwise don't want to play with over the years?
Just tend to block them, move on with my life.
Amazing. Simply amazing. I want you to take a look at Exhibit 2B. Read what it says, and we'll show the court afterwards.
1.13 was scuffed and slightly rushed primarily because we were fed up with dealing with the glitching community.
You see, my colleagues here would have you believe that glitch detection is just a small part of what Blue Sentinel does. However, this message is clear evidence, despite the defense's motions to suppress it, that glitching was a large driving force, if not the main driving force behind the mod's premature release. One where the user can cheat at will and glitch at will, but kick others for doing the exact same. The mod promises protection against abuse, but offers none. Do you feel like the community is responsible enough for a kick feature even without glaring abuse abilities like it currently is?
Probably not everyone, no.
Let's suspend that even. What about yourself? Would you use a kick feature against someone exploiting a lot of glitches or to try to beat you?
I'd simply rather Black Crystal.
Now, would you hit someone like that with a curse knife?
I would never use a curse knife, no.
The kick feature is simply a curse knife in disguise, folks. You're putting on a mask a mask over a malicious program that labels glitchers the same as cheaters while
this up
hiding
already.
behind this mask and using malicious effects to kick children as young as 7 years old. They ignored the community feedback by shrouding themselves in false blankets of EULA.
Enough! Fletcher, you are dismissed. No further... whatever.
That was our final witness, Your Honor.
Oh, Aldrich be praised. On to the closing arguments, then.
This court ought to recall how the defense said you'd hear a story today. Rather, a tragic tale of flaming and community divide. Blue Sentinel can't be a hero if it's not saving us from anything. It says it offers new protections, but has no explanations. Fails to protect against things Watchdog and Pyre Protect already do. Ignored community feedback about glitches, the mod was premeditated to murder the PvP scene and made with perhaps the driving force against the glitches. The promised anti-abuse methods aren't existing. They say they'll patch it in the future. Are we supposed to believe that? Take your word for it after you've already ruined for it? This is just like when Watchdog got people banned or nullified poison and bleed builds. We can't trust that things will be fixed in the future. Blue Sentinel doesn't deserve our trust. Only our condemnation against its righteous indignation. The argument that the developers would have patched the game if they were maintaining it is rubbish. You can't decipher what was intended and what was not. The authors of Blue Sentinel say they want to protect us, but that does not make it okay to remove people for glitches that exist in the game with no third-party tool. The choice is obvious. Blue Sentinel is guilty. At first glance it appears like an innocent anti-cheat mod. Today, we learn the truth.
We shall hear from the defense, and then the jury shall deliberate.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my friends across the courtroom here have tried very, very hard to make things complicated here today, when in actuality it is quite simple. If you don't glitch or cheat, Blue Sentinel won't do anything bad to you. It's there to help protect you from a myriad of bad things, and glitches are only a small part of that. The very idea that the Blue Sentinel program can be abused holds no real water, not when compared with what has been possible with other programs for close to 4 to 5 years now. If people don't want to play with glitches and cheaters, they no longer have to. That's the security that Blue Sentinel provides. And on top of that, Blue Sentinel's production time was not insubstantial. A lot of care and thought was put into it. And ultimately, the community is safer for it. What you'll hear is that glitchers are quitting the game. But what you don't hear are the cries of all the people that stopped playing long before that, due to the rampant use of cheats and glitches. The solution is simple. Stop glitching, and there won't be any more problems. Blue Sentinel is only guilty of making Dark Souls 3 a safer, more balanced place to PvP. Thus concludes this chapter of our hero's story.
The jury will now deliberate over the charges. You must choose guilty or not guilty to each of the following charges. Premeditated murder of PvP in the 1st degree. Murder of glitch users in the 2nd degree. Falsifying evidence of cheating, aiding and abetting cheaters, and last, felony assault on the EULA. You may take any time you wish to deliberate the charges. Leave a comment below on what you decide. May justice prevail. Thank you.